Who can turn the world on with her smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement you show it. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the telling, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all. And here we are. Brace yourself. The Halloween edition.
Yeah.
And this is Annie at 52. Things didn't go well at the mansion.
Johnny Lawrence, and I'm still 17 and in high school.
Cheers. Here we are. We are ready for our show.
No mercy tonight.
No mercy.
No mercy.
So, yeah, things did not go well at the mansion.
No, Annie?
No.
No, not good.
Pretty much this is all the old man gave to me before he lost it all in a poker game.
When did Annie start smoking?
Oh, God. I think she was 14.
Last, we saw you. You were 11.
Yeah, I was 14. I started
And things
smoking.
were looking up.
As soon as he lost all the money, I was like, oh, well, here we go again. Here we go again.
Well, listen, you made it.
Yeah. You know, this red dress, I had to steal from that bitch, Grace Farrell. She would not give up a thing.
How many years did you do in the can?
Oh, God, there was like 12.
That's not terrible. You got out.
Yeah, no, without a tattoo, too, you know, so it wasn't too bad.
Poor Annie.
So
This is Annie when Annie went down the wrong path.
when Annie takes the wrong, when it's the hard knock life for real. So here we are. Here we are. Our Halloween show. This is pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
And in celebration of our Halloween show, we have an author.
Yeah.
And does film, and he's all into like the horror and scary movies. His name is Lee Gambin.
Lee Gambin, and author extraordinaire.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He's written tons of stuff. I got a lot of he's super into horror movies and stuff like that. We're definitely hitting on that for the Halloween theme show.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And he just had a new book come out, which I'm really excited
to
hear about because it's not a horror genre.
Right.
So I'm like really excited to hear how we got into that. Now, I met
it's tomorrow there.
It's tomorrow. He's in Australia, mate. That's probably a terrible Australian accent, Lee. I'm really sorry.
I'm kind of excited. I wonder if I'm going to be able to understand like every single word.
Yes.
So?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, because I've already had a lengthy conversation with him.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So you'll find out why I'm going to have him tell us why.
Right, cool. Awesome.
So,
I'm liking it.
And so you are...
Johnny Lawrence, Cobra Kai. Where are you, LaRusso?
I can't.
My nemesis.
I don't know whose wig is worse.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
This is my real hair.
I think I told you earlier. I said I could be like the Golden Girl now. Just get me a sweater and a pair of glasses, and I could be like the old lady from the Golden Girls.
I kind of have like the 1984 mullet going.
You do a little bit.
A little bit over the years.
I could borrow that. I could be Joe Exotic on Halloween.
Big costume.
Big costume, yeah. There's a lot of facial hair. So what are we drinking tonight? This is amazing.
This
it's
is a
delicious.
Phelps. This is a Pinot Noir.
Love it.
So we did what? We did white last week.
We did.
A Chardonnay. And
so now we're doing a red.
So
this
here we
is
go.
Fantastic.
This is red. This is good. This is a goodie.
All right,
I'm kind of getting pigeonholed with every week it's like Napa.
I know.
Napa.
You know, I think.
Change it up. Maybe next week we'll go Italy.
Oh yeah. I was going to say maybe next week I think I'll bring in Italy.
All right, let's go.
I'll bring in Italy.
We're going outside.
So we're going to get Lee in because it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
And his day is actually just starting, I believe. So we're going to find out what time it is there. I don't remember what time.
You want to guess? I think I remember you talking.
I think it's 10.
It's 10-ish.
But I could be wrong. So let's find out. We're going to bring in Lee Gambin, everybody. And Lee, welcome. Hello.
Hey, how are you? I'm glad it went okay, I guess, for Annie, didn't it?
I wonder
the drinking.
Is Karate Kid a horror movie?
I don't know.
I guess it's, the horrors of teenage years.
Absolutely, having to learn how to defend yourself. So what time is it there in Australia?
It's 10 a.m.
It is 10 a.m.
So
All right. It's 10 a.m. tomorrow. That's
right.
Just
and
crazy.
the sun has come out, Annie. The sun has come out tomorrow.
It has. Here it is very dreary. The sun has not come out.
No.
Right.
Yeah. It's miserable here on the East Coast.
Yeah, so this is my lame attempt anyway at a costume. I couldn't really think of anything.
This is Annie at age, I'm like 37.
Okay, I'll take that.
37.
So Lee, you and I had a really wonderful conversation because you are doing the, I guess it's the commentary for the Annie Blu-ray disc, right? What is that?
Yeah.
Almost.
Sort of.
I did not succumb.
No. It's all this at the moment, Roseanne.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
So we had a conversation anyway about, stuff.
Life.
Yeah. The things you're supposed to do and not do. Like say things.
Lee, don't worry. Only 11 people.
Yeah, only 11 people are watching. Really, don't fret. And just don't fret. So I'm going to just turn on our comments here because we already have some comments. I love it. So anyway, so you are known mostly for your horror writing. So how did that start for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the first professional gig I had was writing for Fangoria. So I'm not sure if you know what Fangoria is. It's an old magazine, horror magazine that started in 1979, and I grew up reading it as a reader, as a fan of horror cinema. And so some years ago, I got a gig writing for them, and that was kind of my first sort of pro gig. Before that, I was doing fanzines, and I grew up with all cinema, so I just was obsessed with movies forever as a kid and all kinds of films. But horror seemed to be the one that I kind of gravitated to mostly. And then I started writing for Fangoria, and then that sort of led to doing other things. So got a book contract really early, which was amazing. Did a book on eco-horror movies, which is a subgenre of horror movies where animals are the threat. So it's like animal attack horror movies, because I felt like they were like really underrepresented when you talk about horror cinema history. So I did that, and then it just sort of grew from there. And then I'm now sort of, doing a lot of audio commentaries and writing booklet essays and teaching, lecturing on film. I run a film society. So it's just grown. And I guess horror has been a big gateway for a lot of other things, but I do a whole range of things as far as film criticism and film historian work. But horror seems to be, the most popular, I guess, when you kind of consider how many people write about horror cinema, how many people commentate, how many people teach on it. Yeah, it seems to be the sort of the go-to genre. I think people love it.
How many actors and actresses do you think started in some horror film that was, they don't ever really want to talk about, but it's sort of like a cult classic that people absolutely love?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's people like Tom Hanks, for instance. He was in a slasher film called He Knows You're Alone, which was actually produced by Edgar Lansbury, who's Angela Lansbury's younger brother. Wow. And he, which is great. And I don't think Tom Hanks has ever talked about it, but it's great, and he's great in it. There's those kind of films where people have sort of started their careers. I mean, Jack Nicholson with Roger Corman's Little Shop of Horrors, and you go through the years and you see that. And then there's people who, I guess, their most iconic role would probably be in a horror film. So if you think of Janet Leigh, who done massive amounts of work, you think of her in Psycho. So there's that kind of flip where you have these people who have these iconic roles, or people starting off their careers in horror films, and they sort of move away from it, either because their career just takes a different trajectory, or they kind of don't get the genre or don't gel with it, or it's just the in to doing other things, or there's some snobbery, which is a bit unfortunate. I think horror films and musicals, I really feel those two genres do polarize audiences. I think people go, oh, I don't like horror, or I don't like musicals, and they speak in absolutes when they don't realize there's so many different kinds of horror films and so many different kinds of musicals. So there's probably something for everyone.
So George Costanza, Jason Alexander was in that. What was that film? They're on the water.
The Burning.
They're at the camp. The what?
The Burning.
Yeah,
The
Burning.
Yeah.
Oh, that was with
Bonnie Durasti.
Bonnie Durasti.
So he was like the football, like the main stud guy in high school. He was the guy.
So we had Bonnie Durasti on the show.
Cool. Yeah, great. I love The Burning. The Burning's a beautiful film. Like it actually looks like an Italian horror film. It looks like a Giallo film. My friend Alexandra Helen-Nicholas, who's another film historian, she's written heaps on horror, and she talks about that. She says it looks like it's so painterly, like it's a really beautiful looking film. And it has that kind of European sensibility, even though it's an American slasher film. But yeah, no, Jason Alexander's great in that. And he was, at the same time, he was doing Sondheim, Merrily We Roll Along. He was doing the musical, so it was the same sort of period.
Horror film and doing a musical. And
next thing you know,
thank you.
See, maybe that was where I made my mistake. I didn't do Annie, and then I should have gone to a slasher film.
Yeah, you could have gotten.
Well, Roseanne, Robin, who was in Annie with you, she was in a made-for-TV horror film called Don't Go to Sleep, and she was great in that. She plays like a possessed kid, and the mum was Valerie Harper.
Really? I did not know that.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I bet my mother knew that, but I didn't know that. My mother kept tabs on. We'll ask Judy later. So, who were some of? You had a question.
I did have a question.
You had a question.
So I'm doing a little research, and I'm figuring, like, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you rate the horror films? Like, do you rate it from, like, the best well done, the scariest? Like, how does that fall? Best storyline, best slasher? Like, what's your particular? What makes your top 10?
I don't really do top 10 or sort of that kind of critical writing. More my stuff is more an analysis and production history.
Rank what makes you like?
Oh right, okay. Oh, lots of things like definitely plot, definitely the cast, definitely how it looks, aesthetic, which is why like a lot of modern stuff I just can't connect with because it just aesthetically doesn't look good. Not being shot on film already makes me kind of go So as far as your question, absolutely a whole range of elements. I guess mood, the way things are told, certain directors I gravitate to, certain styles, subgenre. If it does something different with the subgenre, also comfort movies, so films that I grow up with. So like your Universal monster movies or your Hammer stuff, or your all that stuff is like a warm blanket to me. Because it so well. It's like a comfort film.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be the scariest. It doesn't have to be the scariest movie. It's just got to be done.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, things that have actually, because I don't really get scared, but I'm not a child. But I understand. Yeah, but I get what you say. I think the things that have actually made unnerved me most haven't actually been considered horror films. I think the ending of something like Day of the Locust, when I saw that as a kid, freaked me out. Where Donald Sutherland's getting ripped to shreds by the crowds
that would scare me. That would scare me now.
Yeah.
Lee, one of our viewers, Rob Byer, I don't know why we can't see his question now, but it says Halloween is the best horror film in my opinion. That's what he said. So what do you think of that?
I love Halloween. Stunning film, beautiful film. Because what I think about Halloween, what John Carpenter and Deborah Hill did with that film is it's sort of this pond-like, really subtle, moody piece. So nothing really graphic happens throughout it. It's all about mood and pace, and it's got a dreamlike quality, and it's just beautiful. And suburbia looking terrifying. Yeah. No one thought of that prior to that sort of film. Suburbia was kind of a safe terrain, and then when you get to sort of films in the early 60s, as you're kind of tapping into that, they sort of delve into that a little bit. But the Halloween really positions it there. So when you have those nice long shots of Jamie Lee Curtis walking the streets, it kind of has that eerie quality. It's just really sort of dreamlike. Beautiful. It's a beautiful film. It's really painterly as well.
We have another question from another viewer, and it's from Adam Snare, and wants to know what your favorite current or recent horror movie is.
Oh God! And I just said I don't care for you. I did see something I liked. Hang on, what was it? I went to see this before COVID hit and cinemas all closed up. I liked the Shining follow-up, the Ewan McGregor thing. I forgot what it's called. That's how much I liked it. But it was like Danny Torrance grown up. Oh fuck! I've just forgotten. Anyway, I liked that. But I've been binge watching a lot of documentaries about cinema, and there's a lot of great horror-related documentaries. One that's sort of recent from the last year or so is Horror Noir, which is about the history of black horror. So it goes all the way back to films like Son of Benaji and goes all the way through to Get Out. So a whole history of black representation and the black experience in horror film, and that is a stunning documentary to check out.
I have a question. What did you think of the movie Sinister? Because I want to talk to you about that. Because scientifically, They rated that to be the scariest movie of all time.
Really?
Yep. And they based it on like your resting heart rate is typically somewhere 65 beats per minute. They said when you watch that film, it was up to 86 beats per minute, and they have a jump,
I did. I
jump
heard that.
scare, and it went up to like 131. Like when there was that one moment where people go crazy. Did you like that movie? Was it a good movie?
I saw it, yeah, because it was about snuff movies. It was Ethan Hawke, and like he has to see all those films and stuff. But yeah, I did see it. But I remember it sort of watching it because it was about the snuff thing, and there's a film called Snuff, which is a really grisly, nasty film that people thought was a real snuff movie when it wasn't.
Right.
But yeah, I did enjoy it actually. Yes, you're right, and Ethan Hawke did a really good performance in it. But yeah, that kind of rating system is always weird. There's always that kind of thing where they go, "Oh, the scariest movie since." This movie. When Hereditary came out, and all the campaigns for it were like, "This is scarier than The Exorcist" or something. It's like, calm down. But when I saw Hereditary, I was like, people need to watch Ordinary People because this movie borrows so much from Ordinary People out of all films. But it's all about grief and the loss of a child, etc. And then there's Rosemary's Baby in there. So that all these kind of films, a lot of them do tribute classic stuff.
Yeah, because that actually ranked number 4 in scariest
Really?
films of all time. Like this.
So what did you guys grow up with, and what were your sort of scariest experiences?
Kind of like
Nightmare on Elm
Street.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
which I don't like the gory films like that. I mean, I guess now I would watch them. When I was younger, I didn't. But I like more of like the psychological thriller. Like right now I'm watching, I watched the first season of Ratchet, which I don't think would be considered a horror film, but it's really quite horrific. And I'm watching The Haunting of Bly Manor right now, which is about, ghosts and hauntings and stuff. And, I wouldn't go in the basement the other day, even though I needed a roll of toilet paper. I'm like, I'll wait till the morning.
Hey, Lee, is something like Silence of the Lamb, is that considered a horror film? Like,
yes. I've had so many arguments over drinks about that conversation. It's a horror film. It's a horror film.
Yeah, so that would probably
it plays with all those tropes, and it's actually designed like classic monster movie stuff. The way we first introduced to Hannibal, he's like a caged animal, like a circus freak, and Jodie Foster's always pitted into these situations where she's like enclosed. Even that great image where she walks into the elevator and she's surrounded by all the tall men, and she's this dwarf woman, this little powerhouse of a woman. But that film is chilling, stunning film, really good film.
What is it you think about horror film? I mean, what is it about a horror film that people want to watch and be scared? What is it?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there when you talked about the difference between gore cinema and psychological horror and all that. And, you mentioned, Chris, serial killer themed horror films with Silence of the Lambs. They're so diverse. There's not one kind of horror film. So I think it's the genre that boasts the most subgenres. So there's such a diversity. If you go back all the way to silent era to now, evil kid movies, haunting films, possession films, slasher movies, body horror, female neurosis horror, what else is there? Werewolves, vampires, It goes on. So I think there's something for everyone. So I think there's an attraction to a safe kind of sense of being scared, because the world is already scary and humans are the most terrifying things in the world. So why not enjoy a fantasy escapist film? So for instance, I know people who can't watch realist violence on screen, which generally belongs in the realm of, say, crime thrillers or those kind of films, whereas they'll watch a slasher movie because the gore is so operatic. Right. It's like opera. It's like so the violence is so it's interesting. Yeah, I think there's different degrees of why people are attracted to film in general, why they're attracted to certain types of storytelling, because there are certainly horror films that I don't generally connect with. Right. So I think there's a diversity there that's really strong.
So you should touch on the Stephen King.
Yes.
The Cujo stuff that you wrote.
Yeah, because I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I've read a lot of Stephen King. I think I love The Green Mile, obviously. That was such a fantastic series. But I read Misery and The Stand and all of those. But the one that really got me, and I actually never saw the film, was Gerald's Game. And even, did you ever read that?
I don't think I read that one.
Such a scare. I couldn't read it at night after a certain time because it was just so well done and so well written. And
he's so awesome. And that guy, Pet Cemetery for me was his book that I was like,
and it's such a sad book as well. So it's
terrible. Just what a story. It's unbelievable. That's a scary book when you read that. The thud on the shoulder. Oh my God. But yeah. So where do you rank him? I mean, his books translate very well to the big screen.
Yes.
So that kind of ties both of those, that author, film guy in you. Where do you think?
I think the beauty of King is he understands people so well. He understands working class people. He understands women. He understands children. He understands everyone. And I think he writes beautiful characters. Whether they're like the main characters or a tiny throwaway background character, he gives them so much depth. And I think he understands the human condition, the way he grew up, in Bangor, Maine, very poor. He understands that. He also understands alienation and difference. So it's really amazing stuff. And small towns. So my favorite stuff are things like Salem's Lot, where it really examines small town mentality in America and even translates to here. And I think his early film adaptations, films like The Shining, Carrie, Cujo, Dead Zone, they're just top films, Christine. So yeah, I grew up loving all those films. And yeah, I started to work on a Cujo book after sort of doing a lot of study on animal horror films, and then was like, this film, because I grew up with it, is just packed with so much. Even though it's just streamlined, straight story, it's just got so much depth. People just think, oh, it's a woman with a child in a car trapped by a rabid Saint Bernard, but you go, no, look deep, and there's so much going on in there. So I wrote this massive book analyzing the film and then interviewing everyone involved. And then I did the same for Christine. But just really good stuff. And I think what I love about him is that he really taps into American institutions and makes them terrifying. So for Carrie, the prom, which is meant to be the best thing in the world, becomes hell on earth. And Christine, your love for your automobile becomes perverted and sick. Cujo, the dog that's meant to be your best friend, turns. So all that stuff is really cool in his work.
Like
so
all things you love, that becomes your foil.
Yes. I mean, even Misery to a degree. This guy's in a horrible car accident, is rescued by this woman who's
the Samaritan is the devil.
Giant psycho who's his biggest fan, so to speak. So he's really he's a genius. I really do
And I did like The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. That was good. That's kind of horror, no?
See it.
Yeah, that's a horror. That's a body horror film. Yeah, Cronenberg.
Snakes on a Plane is a funny horror film. Is that? Well, actually, Snakes on a Plane wouldn't be as scary to me as Mice on a Plane.
Yeah, right.
We do have another question from Paul. He says, "What do you think of the human centipede?"
So I saw there's friends of mine who run a company called Monster Pictures here in Melbourne, and they premiered it when it first came out, and we all went to see it, and it's definitely this body horror film. So do you know what it's about?
No. Okay.
So a couple of these two young girls traveling, they meet this guy, they get lost in the woods. I'm paraphrasing, I guess I'm just rushing it. They meet this guy who's a scientist, a genius scientist, who's building a human centipede. And basically what he's doing is farming people, like kidnapping people and stitching them together from arsehole to mouth. So you have these people sort of stitched together from arse to mouth. And so if someone's taking a shit, and that's what's happening. And so yeah, exactly. So it sort of, evokes that kind of response. So I saw it and was like, yeah, doesn't need to be this long. We get it. But it's a gross out body horror film. And yeah, the guy that plays the lead is kind of like an Udo Kier kind of character. So he's kind of got that, European sort of, kind of delicate and kind of, yeah.
How do they get funding for these kinds of films? I mean, that's absolutely.
I mean, you got to be thinking outside the box for that.
Yeah, really. I mean,
you would think at some point, Lee, like, how did people come up with these ideas, like, all the time? Like, there's been so many.
So many.
I know, I don't know.
Okay, Rob wants to know Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
Who I like more? Michael Myers. I love Jason. I love the Friday the 13th films, absolutely. And I think there's probably more enjoyable Friday the 13th movies than there are Halloween sequels. But as far as image and as far as presence, Michael Myers is terrifying because it's just the shape.
Michael
and there's
Myers,
that,
the mask, right? And he wears like the blue.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Jason's Jason.
Now, do you
So
know?
do you not?
Do you ever go on TikTok?
No.
Okay, so there's a guy on TikTok who dresses like Michael Myers, and his wife follows him around yelling at him because he's like on a balcony of an office building, and she's going, Ethan, for the love of God, get down from there. And he's just like, oh, and he goes walking around. It's so funny.
So this is interesting, Roseanne. This is a good connection to Halloween and musicals. Nick Castle, who plays the Shape originally, and then they got him back for the latest one, Halloween from 2018. He is the son of Nick Castle Sr., who was Fred Astaire's choreographer.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Lee is deep in knowledge.
He's got a lot of knowledge. You interviewed a lot of people. Which one, I mean, obviously, besides mine, was your favorite?
Oh, geez.
Or in your top 5, who are your top 5 favorite interviews? Some memorable.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's a good question because it's a long time now. I would say some of the most surprising are really interesting. So, for instance, when doing the Cujo book, this is actually quite an interesting roundabout story. So I did a book prior to the Cujo book all about 70s film musicals. So I chronicle all film musicals from 1970 to 1980. Obviously, one of them is Pete's Dragon and another one is Grease. When I was doing the research on the Cujo book, the same producer of Grease produced Cujo. So I thought, I'll ask my Grease family if they know anyone, if I can get in touch with the producer of the film, blah, blah. And Barry Pearl, who played Doody, said, I don't have any connection to the producer, but did you know the guy that played Cujo in the dog suit is a friend of mine? And I go, wait on, there was what? And I go, what? And he goes, he was in Pete's Dragon with Jeff Conway, who was Kaniki. He was Shelley Winter's son. His name is Gary Morgan. And I go, whoa. So this whole roundabout thing, so I connected to Gary Morgan, who was in the dog suit. Whenever the dog wasn't able to do a certain stunt, if it was too dangerous for the dog, because those dogs were like kings and queens on that set, he'd jump in this dog suit and be this dog. And I was like, that's amazing. So interviewing him, hearing those stories about just doing the shoot as a dog was brilliant. So that was really cool. But there's heaps of people, there's been heaps of people that I've talked to. Hearing Joan Van Ark talking about doing frogs with Sam Elliott and, Joe Dante, his wealth of knowledge when I did a book on The Howling. But yeah, just everyone that I've talked to has been a gem. Sissy Spacek, talking to her about Carrie was special. Piper Laurie. I remember speaking to Piper Laurie. It was Valentine's Day and the sun was coming up as, she was well into the evening in LA, and just hearing her stories about old Hollywood, classic Hollywood, and then leading up to Carrie. Just beautiful stuff. But yeah, lots of amazing, amazing people. John Carpenter, hearing him talk about stuff is just, it's endless. It's really cool. It's good stuff.
And now, you get to do, we did Skype, so you can Skype. We have StreamYard now, Zoom. So you get to see all these people now, if you want, when you interview them, which is great. Now, you have a new book coming out, which is like a complete left turn from horror. Tell us about this book.
Yeah, so I, like you guys, I'm sure we all grew up with sitcoms. I know you did, Roseanne, and you love your variety shows and your sitcoms and stuff, and you had a crush on the young chap from Alice, etc. I know all about you. But yeah, so I did this book all about very special episodes. So when you're watching these shows as a kid, there was always that one episode that stood out that was dark, that had like a really different tone. It was like, this episode's, a very special episode is going to deal with alcoholism, or it's going to deal with rape, or it's going to deal with drug addiction, or it's going to deal with, kidnapping, or even lighter things like shoplifting, I guess. That's lighter. Right. But, you know, stuff that's away from the sort of norm. And so I thought, this is amazing. This would be a really good cultural kind of study of how many of these shows existed. So I did a lot of research, and I sort of nailed it down to there's 4 different kinds of very special episodes. And then I went through and watched a whole bunch of things, and then chose around 200 episodes, and then wrote on them and got wonderful contributors, amazing writers to write on them. So it's basically 2 massive volumes, this book, of every very special episode from the start of it, which actually starts earlier than you think, because you think Norm and Leah, but actually goes back earlier. There's a I Love Lucy episode, which was all about race relations. It was like a good neighbor policy episode. There was a Addams Family episode, which dealt with the generation gap. There was a Leave It to Beaver, which had an alcoholic, like Beaver's friend was an alcoholic. This old guy.
In the Leave It to Beaver time, everybody ever when they came home,
honey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it goes all the way through. So it goes from like that period through the heyday of the 70s and 80s and into the 90s. And when Seinfeld and those kind of shows hit, that kind of phenomenon died. Like the very special episodes sort of just stopped. But Blossom, the 90s show Blossom, was one of the last sort of trying to keep doing it. Every friggin' episode of Blossom was a very special episode.
Yeah. Even All in the Family.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every week, All in the Family dealt with something like, you know.
And even goofy ones like, you know, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They had like that super serious episode when Will Smith was like, you know, talking about, I forget what the heck it was. You probably know.
His dad. Yeah.
Or Facts of Life, even, you know,
like
all the girls growing up in this boarding school.
Yeah.
So
there's so many. Like all those sort of Norm and Leah sort of shows had a lot. So Facts of Life comes from that world, that family. So there's loads. The first episode of Facts of Life is a very special episode. So it's really interesting that it starts with it. It's like, this is what we're going to do. But yeah, the Fresh Prince one you're talking about is it's an episode called Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse. And Ben Vereen plays his dad, his deadbeat dad, and Will Smith has, it's probably the best piece of acting Will Smith's ever done. But
yeah, no doubt. It's really like he's super emotional.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it.
Wow, that's this is great stuff, and I look forward to I want to get that.
So how
because I'm a
how
huge sitcom
how
fan.
do we get it? Is it out yet, Lee?
It's out on Amazon, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you just look up Lee Gambin on Amazon or Goodreads, and it's like.
Yeah, I googled you. You're all over the place.
His IMDb, he's a big deal.
He is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
One last thing for me. How are you coping with COVID right now? How are you doing over on the other side of the world? That you know.
So I live in Melbourne, and we've had a stage 4 restriction where you're not allowed to go anywhere unless it's, you know, medical or whatever. So that's just been lifted. So it's day 2, I think, where things have reopened and stuff like that. Yeah, but I've gotten lots of stuff done. I mean, it's been.
Wow.
I just think, as a big nature guy and someone who loves animals and stuff, it's just amazing to see how the Earth, just, you know, in direct, you know, connection I have to it, like parklands and stuff, has regenerated. Like humans staying away for a bit actually gets the stuff happen. Like birds are around again, bats and possums, and it's beautiful.
I have one last question for you, and this is from Judy, who happens to be my mom, and does a segment on our show called Judy's Gems. And Judy wants to know what you think of, which is a movie that I do really enjoy. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane Hudson?
Stunning film.
What?
Yeah. So she wants to know what actually happened to her.
To know what you think of it.
Oh, the film. I love that film. It's one of my favorites. So my film society called Cinemaniacs did a whole festival of the Grand Dame Gwenale horror movies. So these are movies generally from, say, the early 60s onwards, where more mature actresses had sort of wrapped up their ingenue days and they're sort of entering their 50s and 60s, and horror rejuvenated their careers. So you have these films like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Straight Jacket, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, What's the Matter with Helen? They're always with questions, a lot of these.
We have questions, Lee. We have lots of questions.
That's right. And they were all these amazing films that regenerated careers of Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Olivia de Havilland, Ruth Roman. So these are really empowering films where these women got to play psychotic leads. They were the leads. They usually dramaturged the scripts, and they were pretty much, hands-on, and they got to play these psychotic, complicated women. But whatever happened to Baby Jane is pretty much like the sort of blueprint of that genre, of that subgenre of horror. So it's a fantastic film, and it was amazing to screen that. And we did a whole range of these movies, Straight Jacket and Flowers in the Attic as well. So it kept going through into the 80s as a subgenre. And a revival of that should be welcomed. I think we need to see, older women on screen in lead roles hacking people up.
I agree.
Andy goes mad. Like he
Andy goes
psycho.
crazy.
Right. I'm going to write that.
Well,
Miss Hannigan's total hagsploitation material. Like, it's just
true. That is true. Like after what happened after, oh my God, that should have been the sequel.
That should be the sequel.
Lee, thank you. Chris and I have been able to interview so many really interesting people. You are our first Australian guest.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. And I know that you have a lot of work ahead of you. You're a very busy man, but I do really want to thank you for taking the time out to talk to us tonight, or for you tomorrow. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to reading your new book. And I look forward to kind of keeping in touch with you, and I keep making all these new friends along the way, which is really
tell
so
everybody
great.
He's got a Facebook page. Go on,
Yes.
buy the books. I mean, they're awesome.
Facebook, Twitter, IMDb.
Yeah, social
He's
media.
all over the place.
This is it. And what a wealth of knowledge, Mama mia.
Yeah.
You know a lot of stuff.
You know a lot of stuff about horror films.
thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for being on tonight. We really
You're
do
awesome.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Lee.
Oh, thank you so much. Mwah.
Bye, Lee.
Happy Halloween.
Thank
See ya.
Damn, he's good.
Wow.
That's a lot of information.
I mean, he didn't even falter.
No, you asked
on
him
a
something and
question.
he was like,
He had it. It was like crazy.
you got to watch a lot of film.
Yeah. You
Like,
did.
I don't remember what happened in Peaky Blinders I watched
I
it
know.
last night.
And he
can't remember.
remembers from.
And he knows it. But that's when, when you're so entrenched in that, and that's like your passion, you can see the passion come out.
Oh, yeah.
And
You can
and
hear
he
it.
knows and he studies it. And so he watches Cujo, and then he breaks Cujo down to the scene, the this, the that. And then he found the guy in the dog suit.
Well, that's
Well, I have no idea somebody got in a dog suit. I could have done that. I could have acted.
And you know what the
It could have been me. I could have done that. I was much smaller then.
you know what the thing is too is when you
No mercy.
when you watch a film, a horror film.
You know I'm sitting here talking to Annie, right?
Yeah, I'm talking to Cobra Kai.
This poor guy is into tomorrow.
I
and he's
know.
like, who is this guy?
What the hell did I sign up for? It's crazy.
They gotta have Halloween over.
They have Halloween, I'm sure. We should have
didn't
asked
ask
him. We didn't ask him. I bet they have
Lee,
Halloween. Lee, give me a thumbs up if they have Halloween. So we had some really good questions. I like when the viewers ask questions
Yeah.
of the guests.
Good job, Rob.
Yeah, Rob
Paul.
and Adam and Paul, good questions. Nice job. So we're gonna move on now.
Yeah,
We're
where are we
gonna-
going? What
well,
direction?
Where are we going? We're going to Kathy Yodice wants to know what's going on here.
What do you mean? What's
You're-
going on?
you're gonna
Clearly,
have-
this is Johnny Lawrence, and that's Annie.
It's Halloween, Kathy.
It's a Halloween super.
This is the Halloween
what do they
show.
call it? The spooky
you know?
spectacular.
The spooktacular.
Jesus.
It's the spooktacular. And it's a day early, and it's Wind Down Wednesday, this is a fabulous
Hump it.
Pinot Noir. Very excited. So we had a great weekend.
Yes, we did. We had
Do
a
you
lot of
think
fun.
my head's kind of itchy? Do you think I can I break character?
Listen, I'm staying in character.
Okay, then
You
I'm
do what you
staying.
want.
I'm staying. No.
You do.
I just feel like, oh, kiddos.
Just leave it
I feel
on.
like an old lady.
We'll take it up. Listen, it's gonna be okay.
We had a great weekend this
I like it
weekend.
because it actually looks like I have blonde hair now instead of the gray.
Well, okay, we're not going there again. I'm not going to keep. I mean, you keep throwing the line, and I keep giving the compliment. So enough. You know the gray hair looks distinguished.
Here we go with this again.
So let's talk about the Mick.
let's talk about the Mick run. So the DCRP
Mick
got
run was
together on
Sunday
afternoon because you can't really have an official run. So we did the unofficial, official Michael Michelini 5K in Islip.
Yes.
I want to thank all my DCRP people for the love that they showed. We had like 27 folks that, we all gathered at our usual spot where we typically do the run. We all ran down to the water, walked.
Yes.
Some of us walked. And then we ran back and
and let's thank George.
To celebrate George from
the
Denoy.
Owner of Denoy, who lets us camp out on his front lawn on a Sunday morning.
He lets me put this giant tent on his yard. And we all social distanced. And,
we did.
It was,
there were drinks.
It was fun to do. I'm a little sad that you couldn't have the full run, but people, listen.
There's still time.
There is time to register. You get a really cool buff. There's only 30 left. We have 70.
Let me see. Let me show you the buff. The
we
buff
have 70
is good.
registrants already.
We did this. We showed this last week. This is the buff that you get.
Yeah, that's the buff you get. Right. And you see it in person now. It's pretty cool.
I do. I have it, but I loaned it to Terry Ann because when we went to Maxwell's after,
she needed a mask.
She needed a mask.
Gotcha.
So Terry Ann did not forget.
Yeah, so you
and
can
I
still,
want my buff back.
You can still sign up. There's 30 bucks left. So the first 100 people who registered gets one of the headgear.
You get one.
So do it now. Why are you waiting? I don't understand.
Just go for a walk, and you're
then,
helping. You're beating cancer.
Yeah, it's a great fundraiser. We're kicking cancers in. Yeah. I mean,
kind of.
This is awesome.
That's awesome.
This is awesome. No mercy, people.
So Judy is
Judy's
waiting. We have to talk to Judy because
something happened.
Something happened.
But we're not talking.
We're not talking about it per se. We're going to talk around it a little bit. Next week we have a big surprise.
It's a good show next week.
Next week's going to be a really good show.
I'm just excited we actually have material.
I know we have material. That's like we actually did something, but on the way to doing the thing that we're going to talk about next week, we're getting a little heat. And so let's bring Judy on first. So
I want to talk to Judy.
Oh, here she is. Hi, Judy. You look lovely.
Judy. Will you take that wig off?
No.
Ridiculous.
Like from the Golden Girls. I don't think it's still getting.
And you look like my mad uncle or something.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
What, he was in karate?
Come on, do it.
Ooh, I'm spooky.
Yeah.
Scared. He's so violent. Roseanne, move. Don't let him.
He's like got cat-like.
Rob to come and talk to you about movies. He's such an expert on movies, but he won't.
You like my mullet? You like my wig? My hair?
No, that is ridiculous looking.
Okay.
So we did a thing this week.
Yeah.
That was supposed to happen last week, and
everybody remembers.
You got a little
well, if everybody tuned in last week, you saw I had a lot of shade thrown at me from Judy.
Yes, from Judy.
But then something else happened.
Something happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
When we were sitting in Maxwell's.
Run, I'm enjoying myself. I'm celebrating a great day. And who walks in?
Not me.
Bridget walks in.
Walked in.
Bridget walks in and says, "Hey, I got a bone to pick with you." And I was like, I knew right away. I was like, and I usually can talk. And I was like, like guilty as charged. Like it was some big pressure.
And then she ended it as she was walking out. She goes, "Don't stand up my grandma or I'm going to kick your ass."
Aggression.
So your granddaughter has your back, Judy.
I know. Well, listen.
That's pretty darn good.
That's what you have grandchildren for. Well, when you get too old to stand up for yourself.
That's it.
You know.
So how was bowling today? How did you do?
Yes.
Very well, thank you.
What was your score?
130 something, 120. I don't remember what the other one was, but we won. We took 2 games. We took wood. We took high game. We did good.
All right. Well, congratulations. You're quite the bowler. We're going to save that for next week. We're going to tell everybody that Judy and I, the match went down.
The match happened.
Not telling anybody what happened.
No, went down. But
because
this
because you need to tune in next week.
yeah,
See what I just did? I teased.
you teased. We're gonna give you a little teaser right here.
It's like The Bachelorette. It's like a cliffhanger or something.
So next
Look,
week
this is where it went down.
on Brace Yourself,
There it is.
live from the East Coast Plains, from the East Plains.
Where it happened.
That's where it all happened.
Yeah.
We-
Yeah. You had to take advantage of an old woman. What can I tell you?
Oh, you loved it.
You loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. But we're going to tell you what happened. I'm not telling you what happened.
No,
And I think we do have some footage that
We
we're
have some-
going
yeah.
that we're going to be able to show. So you're going to really want to tune in next week.
we have footage. It's going to be a good show next week. Absolutely, definitely. You're gonna wanna tune in. And the bottom line is, we're going on the air whether you tune in or not. So you might as well watch.
Yeah, you might as well. What else are you doing? There's no more debates. Who cares?
Yeah, that'll be over.
There'll be a new president.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. There'll be something.
It's going to be dark because we're falling back.
Oh, yeah.
We're falling back this
I
weekend.
hate that. You know, Arizona doesn't do that.
I wish we didn't,
I wish we didn't need like who
because
cares?
why
It's
does
so
it have
dumb.
to get dark at 4:30?
But why are we changing time zones? Now
I
Chris
know.
is 2 hours away. Right now he's 3, but then he goes down to 2. Some of the country does it. Some of the country doesn't do it.
I don't know.
Other places in the world doesn't do it. So when you get on a plane, how do you know what time you're getting there? It's too much math.
A lot of math.
Man, I don't
Math.
like
I
math.
can't figure it out.
I know.
All right.
I feel like I'm Johnny Lawrence right now. I don't like anything. I just want to do karate and kick somebody's ass.
Your hair is getting kind of lower as you
Don't
speak.
worry about it. Come on, you.
Oh, like you've never worn a wig.
I know, right? Never, ever.
Fucking thing's itchy.
I'm like,
Both of you itching.
should we switch wigs?
No,
That would be hysterical. That's what you should have done. Oh God.
Wigs, that would be
man.
great.
Mm.
All right, so Judy, you don't have a gem for us today?
No, I'm gemless. I'm gemless.
No,
It's been a good week. I've been very busy. There's a lot of action happening
I know what
in
you
my life.
call crap.
yeah, you've been busy
I
Even-
have.
on the phone.
So I haven't really been able to come up with
Yeah,
it.
we're going to talk about the whole dating situation, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that next week. We'll save that for her. So should I let you go, Judy?
Yeah, because I want to go home.
Okay.
Well, why don't you stick around because,
Well,
no, all right. Go.
join back in when you get home. We might still be
Yeah.
chatting.
Come on. Still,
Goodbye.
good night.
Good night.
night.
God bless. And take off those wigs.
All right.
Never.
They look so bad.
Fuck it. I'm wearing mine next week. Just because of that now.
I might get a different one now just because,
All right, so listen, I got 10 Pepper Gets Pepper.
Oh,
And this is the Halloween edition.
the Halloween edition.
I think you're going to do pretty well because these kind of some of them are lame. The first 2 are probably the toughest.
Okay.
But we'll
All
see.
right. Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I'm never ready. Never ready for Pepper Gets Peppered.
I'm not used to all this hair. Dressing up or guising in costumes and going door to door asking for food and coins was originated in what country?
Hold on. I think I know this. Food and coins. But guys, I've got 2 thoughts and they're probably both wrong. I'm Germany.
I'm going to give you a multiple choice.
Okay.
I want to see if you got it off the top. A, Ireland. B, India. C, USA. D, France.
Not the Irish. India.
Mary Rose is going to be pissed at you.
It's Ireland? Good thing she's not watching.
She was. She might be.
She might
She
be.
probably got bored and turned us off. That's all right.
Wait, what is Stephen Margoli saying? Roseanne, will you please say your famous... Oh, he wants a famous line.
All right, do it.
Should I do it?
Why wouldn't you? You were Annie for crying out loud.
But he wants the pepper line.
You can't do Pepper dressed as Annie.
I can't, but I can
No.
say leaping lizards.
That is good. Now you got it.
Steven, next week when I look normal again, I'll give you the famous
When
line.
you get peppered.
When I get peppered, I'll give you the famous line.
What is the name of the ancient festival that was celebrated by the Celts to ward off tricks of the gods? The name of the ancient festival. Is it A, Akitu, B, Imbolc, C, Beltane, or D, Samhain?
It's E, you're full of shit. I don't know.
It's D, Samhain. And it's spelled
What makes you think?
Samhain. So I'm like, how do you even say that? I'm like, Samhain. But then it's the Gaelic, Samhain. Mary Rose, you'd be friendly. Samhain.
I had no idea.
So that was the festival. That's
Okay.
kind of led up to,
Mhm.
up to this whole thing.
All right.
What's the most popular Halloween candy? A, Snickers.
Ooh.
B, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. C, Skittles. Or D, Twix. Anyone?
Hold on.
Anybody have an opinion on that?
Anybody want to chime in there?
You could try.
Give me the 4 choices again. We had
And
you
don't
said
Google anything.
You said Snickers, Skittles, Twix.
Snickers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Skittles.
I'm going to say Skittles, but I would pick Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Me too. And you are right. It is Skittles. It's Skittles. And like this year, the hot one is the zombie Skittles.
That's so weird.
It's Skittles, yeah.
Not chocolate?
No. Well, chocolate bars, listen, there's different things, but that seems to be the most popular candy this year. You know, and if you go on,
I mean, I love me a
and
Skittles.
everybody's got an opinion. So if you go on like 10 different sites, you might get like a different answer. Like, oh, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is in that one. But most people,
Yeah.
because I have no life, are doing Skittles.
I love
So
Skittles.
kids like Skittles, so do it.
I love a
Why
Skittle.
wouldn't you give a kid Skittles?
Why wouldn't you?
Because you're not allowed to, because COVID ruined everything and there's no Halloween.
Yeah. Everything's dead. Comedy's dead. Halloween's dead.
Jack-o'-lanterns were originally made of what vegetable?
A squash, a gourd,
Close.
a zucchini,
Yeah, a little bigger.
a watermelon. I don't know.
Turnip.
A turnip. What?
I'm telling you.
Come on.
That's what it was. Listen, these are Irish people. Sorry to my Irish friends.
Is Halloween like an Irish holiday?
Well, it kind of started there. It started in the ancient, like Scottish Celt, it was the Celts. So that kind of morphed in. Well, yeah, the Catholics, we'll get into that too. They kind of hijacked the festival. We'll get to it.
All right.
According to superstition, if you stare into a mirror at midnight on Halloween, what will you see? What will you see?
If you stare into a mirror at midnight on Halloween, you will see how badly you're aging. I don't know.
Your future spouse.
Oh, so I'll see nothing.
Basically, you're not going to see shit.
I'm alone. Oh, God. That's amazing. Oh, God. I love it.
Is a pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable?
It is a vegetable.
You are wrong. It is a fruit. It has seeds.
Damn it. I am not good at this.
That's a good thing.
I am not doing well at all. Have I gotten anything
Yeah, you
right?
got one right.
Which one? I don't even remember.
Skittles.
Skittles. Of course.
Okay, so this is going to tie into our conversation.
Okay.
You're never going to get this one.
Probably not.
The mask Michael Myers wears. Let's see if anybody gets this one. Rob,
Okay.
if he's watching. The mask Michael Myers wears in the movie Halloween is actually the mask of what famous actor painted white? The eyes were cut out a little bit. So the story goes, the director, he was driving, and he picks up 2 masks. One's a clown mask, and one is one of a famous actor at the time. Who's the actor? That's a good question.
That is a good question. The first name that popped into my head, and I don't know
You want a
why.
hint? I'm going to give you a hint after. Go ahead.
I said I was thinking Charlton Heston. But it's what's his face? The Priceline Negotiator, isn't it?
That's right.
What Shatner.
Yes, it
William
is.
Shatner.
Wow.
Good job, Rob.
And Darren.
And Darren.
On point.
Ah.
It's on Apple TV now.
Wow.
You got to go to Apple TV. Another piece.
Everything's on Apple TV.
Another piece of our youth
Another
ripped
piece of our
away
youth.
and put on social streaming. You're right. It's horseshit.
Wow.
4.6 million adults will dress up in what Halloween costume this year?
This year. Specific to this year.
And it's
No, because no. Is it a topical costume or is it
I'm not going to give you a topical costume.
All right.
They're in there, though.
A witch.
That is correct.
I was almost a witch tonight.
4.6 million people will dress as that.
How many of the 4.6 million will be the
Sexy witch? Less than the 0.6. Let's go. Less than 0.6. Less than 600,000.
You know, I was going to dress as
Sexy witch?
Britney for you tonight.
Yeah.
But then
I
I
couldn't
said,
even work in Britney. I actually Googled something like Britney Spears Halloween. They're like, dresses Britney Spears Halloween. I'm like, I am not. I should dress.
You should dress as Britney.
So number 2 is Dinosaur. Number 3 is topical. So it's Harley Quinn. And then it's who's the lady from
Carol Baskin?
Yes, Carol Baskin is up there as well. Batman, a ghost, a cat, a rabbit, and a clown.
Ooh.
The Karate Kid in 1984 starred what actor as Daniel LaRusso? Long Island guy.
Ralph Macchio.
That's correct, and he was in East Islip, and this is the thing. Then you were Who's Who. Oh, by the way, if you wiki East Islip, famous people from the area, guess who's in it? Proud member of the DCRP.
Yeah.
You have a wiki page.
I have a wiki page, and I did not know until you Googled famous people in East Islip
Right.
that I came up.
Right.
And the funny thing is, grew up, born and bred almost in Lindenhurst, and they could give a crap.
You're not on Lindenhurst's list.
They could give a crap.
It's Pat Benatar and everybody else.
Yep, pretty much.
All right, and the last one's just an easy one.
Oh, wait, Mark Sapula. Mark, how are you? Loves our costumes.
Oh, thank you.
Mark, it's been so long. We
He's
missed
not
you.
having I don't want to talk about the Patriots with
Oh,
Mark. But Mark, I don't really feel that bad for you because Cam Newton wasn't the guy. What are you guys, like 2-9 now? Welcome to Jetville. You're not as bad as the Jets, but
no, but now you know what it feels like.
Exactly. All right, so the last one is the day after Halloween that's celebrated by the Christians is called. Oh, you better get this one administrated, Santino.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Read that again.
The day after Halloween that is celebrated by Christians is called what?
All Saints Day.
Yes.
Oh, pull that out of my ass.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus.
Oh, Mark said, please don't.
So
Mark Sapula, author.
another author.
Read a book. He's from Boston.
Yes, I like this book.
And his books are really good.
They're awesome.
And
Get those on Amazon.
yeah, get them on Amazon, definitely. Mark just finished another book, but that's all I know.
Well,
He
top
put a-
secret. This
he
is what
put a-
authors do. This is what authors do.
Yeah.
They're very secret.
He put
Well,
a
we're
post
being
on
secretive about
Instagram.
next week.
We are being secret.
What do you say on Instagram?
He was like, just something like just finished the book.
Oh, so you're
Like,
teasing.
he's teasing big
Okay.
time.
I get it.
Big
Teaser.
time.
Now, look, I've only been to Beantown once, and I was there for like 2 days, but I'm finding you at some
Well,
point.
as soon as they come off the list,
They're not on
I
the
think they're on the list.
list. They're not on the list.
You're not? They're not?
Not yet.
Are you
I
sure?
checked the site
All
today
right.
because Derek and Cindy are coming down. I hope. Get some
'Cause-
Boston people. I got some.
You know what I
I got
did?
some Milton. What?
So I decided, a little Christmas gift for my girls.
Go ahead.
We're going to go on a mother-daughter weekend.
Where you going?
Saratoga Springs.
Oh, hello. It's beautiful up there.
I'm very excited.
That is kind of cool.
Booked a nice little hotel. Booked us a spa morning. We're going to do the mineral bath, with the zero gravity mineral bath with the springs water.
I like it.
And we're getting a massage.
It kind of
Remember
sucks.
the Gambin?
It kind of sucks when you have to like vacation in your own state.
It does. But you know what? Maybe I never would have gone there. I'm going to try to find the silver lining in COVID out of this.
Yeah,
because
well,
maybe I would
don't
never
go to
have
Buffalo
gone.
because that's the armpit of New York.
I'm not going there.
Stay out of there.
Yeah. No, I'm not going there. But I don't know if I would have ever
Gone
gotten
to
to
Saratoga? Have you been to
Saratoga.
Saratoga?
Never been.
It's really beautiful there.
Looking forward to
You know,
it.
in the summer, like when
Hopefully it's going to be nice
when the
weather.
racetrack is open and like there's so
Yeah.
much life going on there, it's really beautiful.
I know we're not going to be there.
There's some great spots. Listen, we're talking about maybe just trying to go ski somewhere, but you gotta be on top of that. You gotta get your ticket early. You gotta get
So
everything's
much
so
to do.
effing hard with COVID.
I
F you,
know.
COVID.
So I booked it
Done with it.
today.
Well, good. You'll have fun.
I told the girls I'm paying for the hotel and the massages. Merry Christmas.
You get Christmas out of the way early.
Listen,
And you
they
still
know.
get
They know they're still gonna get stuff. What? Come on.
Even I'm buying stuff for your kids. I don't want to get reprimanded. Shit, Bridget, come on home. Take it easy on just. Yes. I know karate. My sensei says no mercy.
Oh my God. So how are we doing?
We're at
We're at an hour.
We're
Where Madison says that we've always gone too far, right?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to say, you know.
It's an hour one.
Listen, we have things to say. I watched. Okay, I want to preface this right with that. I am a Drew Barrymore fan, and again, yet another text unanswered. Just saying.
Oh, you
all right?
You trying to get her to come on?
No.
Oh.
Another text by you unanswered. I watched her show yesterday.
It was 11 o'clock at night.
You know the time, so apparently you picked up the phone and looked at it.
Yeah, when I woke up in the morning.
Okay, whatever. I watched the show, and she's doing the show virtually, okay? Which I get. And we're just...
It was 8:30.
Yeah. Loser. So,
Yikes.
we're good.
Are we?
We are.
We have 8 people watching.
I don't care, because those 8 people are the same 8 people who tune in all the time.
Yeah.
And that means
They're
we're doing
super
something right.
fans.
Or they have a pathetic life. Nothing else
I mean,
to
I don't
do.
know. I'm trying.
No, I mean, come on.
Why was she not good? Why do you
It
think
wasn't
she
that it wasn't good. It was just, I don't know. It was just so whatever. But she's Drew Barrymore, so she can do whatever she wants.
You do
And
what you want.
I love you, Drew. On the real offbeat chance that you were to ever see this, make
You'll
no
learn it.
mistake.
You'll learn it.
I adore you.
We'll learn it.
No, I do. I love her. I love what she does. I love her. I
Yeah, she's
loved
awesome.
Santa
She's
Clarita Diet.
She's a megastar.
She's amazing.
Megastar.
But I just don't understand. Like, we're funny. Why don't we have a network show?
Network show. You're the best.
You know, he does this all the time, and
I
it
know.
really just
just-
twists my nuggins. I'm not going to lie to you.
Poke Annie. Poke
Just
Annie.
poking the bear.
Poke Pepper. Put
Because,
pepper in the grinder.
you know, it's just
See what I did there?
a pepper in the grinder. I got you. We're good. I'm sorry. And you
All
know
right, well,
what?
Cheers to you.
Everybody else who says, what are you guys doing every Thursday night, tonight, Wednesday, but Thursday night? You know what we're doing?
Have a
Because
good time.
someday it's going to
I'm
pay
a laughs.
off. I don't know
Have a
how,
few
but it
laughs.
is. Paul's working on it. He's got a connection. He's working on it. I'll tell you off the air.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about, or are we good?
No.
Now Michelle Grando is watching.
Now
She tunes
she's
in. At an hour 4.
She's probably like, are they still on?
Look, it says,
Michelle's asked me, are they still
bring
on?
them on camera. She'd kill me. I won't do it, but I'm definitely tempted.
Please no.
Anything else?
She's got. No, just watch next week. Big bowling
Big
show.
bowling show.
It's a big bowling show.
We've got film footage,
We're
commentary.
bringing Judy on early for the whole.
Oh, bringing her
match.
on. Yeah. We might even try to get Judy here live.
We could maybe.
You know,
do a
she's
live
been
show.
talking about the wine cellar. She's never been. I've never been in the wine cellar. But then every week it's like a diva.
Wait, she diva it out a little
She
bit.
diva
early.
it out. Yeah.
It's all right.
A little bit.
She's a star. When you're a star, this is kind of what you do.
I guess.
Superstar.
Paul likes your segment. Pepper gets peppered.
All right.
He likes that. So.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
And thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful.
Michelle says you want something.
Thanks, Michelle. You're the best. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe Halloween.
Yes.
All right. And we're going to be raising more money for cancer this weekend, aren't we?
We're kicking cancer's ass. My friend Kevin's got a cornhole tournament. If you want to go on the GoFundMe page, just find my friend Kevin Edwards on Facebook.
Edwards, yep.
It's,
GoFundMe. It's a cornhole tournament, we're collecting money.
We're going to freeze our ass off on Halloween. It's a Halloween event.
I can't wait. Are we wearing costumes?
You could if you want.
Do we have to?
You don't have to.
Okay,
no. It's going to be,
I don't think I can do this
that
again.
day. It's going to be a little cold.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You look fantastic.
Well, from maybe the neck down, but I do. I look like
Guns.
What is her name from the Golden Girls? What was the old lady's name from Golden Girls? What was it? Marnie, I know you know this. What was her name?
Marnie, my hair or Roseanne's hair?
Probably both. Who was the Golden Girls woman?
I can't remember.
Why can't I remember her character's name? It was Estelle Getty. I know that. I can't remember her name.
Sophia?
Sophia! Ah.
Marnie's on it.
Yes. So that's it. I look like Sophia if I had glasses and a sweater.
Okay. Let's do it. That'll be your new costume.
I'm going to be Sophia.
Annie turns into the Golden Girls.
Into the Golden Girls.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where's your cigarette?
It's right here. Here it is.
This is where Annie goes wrong.
This is Annie. Annie takes a hard left. Takes a hard left. It's not good. She goes,
fuck it.
that millionaire screwed me over big. He promised me a rose garden, and you know what I got? The thorns.
Perfect.
All right. Oh, wait. I have one plug.
Yeah.
Because I think I can plug Connecticut.
Oh, boy. You better hope they're not on the list when no one's going.
You know what? I'm going to plug it next week. I'm going to double check.
Let's check that.
I'm going to double check. We'll plug it next
I'm
week.
already getting pressure to go to that.
Yeah, well, of course. So, hey, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Halloween.
Love.
Peace, love,
Be safe out there, you
and harmony.
trick-or-treaters.
You trick-or-treaters, if there's trick-or-treating, I hope there is. Don't come to my house. I won't be home. And listen, folks, I love that you tune in every week. You're the best.
Yes, we do.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
All right, well, that's our show for tonight. Good night, everybody.
Good night. See you.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah, we're off.
I think we're off.
We do this every week.
You'd think we'd know. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
off.
off.
We're off, definitely.
You were awesome.
No, I couldn't do it without you. Stop.
You're unbelievable.
Stop.
You're amazing.
Everybody loves
It's
you.
you. No,
Everybody
it's
loves
you.
you.
It's not me. It's you.
It's
Trust me.
Rowan, Chris.
No, listen.
I
What
think
you
we're
do.
still on.